What's up, you tube? It's your big homie AP. I got another one for y'all. Here we go.
Someone needs to do an academic study on the outcomes and the experiences of young Black girls who go to predominantly white prep schools. I firmly believe if you are sending your young Black daughter to a really nice elite prep school, be prepared not only to pay that tuition now, but to also pay for very expensive therapy in a decade from now. I went to one of those like $50,000, $60,000 a year prep schools from 6th grade up until 12th grade. I played lacrosse, field hockey, crew on the Charles River. It was also a New England prep school. I think there's also a regional nuance here. It was psychological warfare.
Hold on. I'm going to stop just for a quick second. All I can think about is one of my baby mamas. Now, this is a, Black woman, grew up in the hood, but went to all white schools, all her, younger years up into college. When I tell y'all, I believe everything this woman's saying because I've seen it firsthand. It's even worse because she sounds like she at least from an affluent family. Imagine being a ghetto girl, and not ghetto in the sense of she's ghetto and her family and parents was ghetto. She lived in the hood in Milwaukee. And for y'all that don't know, you better ask somebody. Grew up in an area that drug ridden, gang riddled, just typical ghetto stuff. You know what I'm saying? But going to a school where the families was all upper middle class or more. Being a part of groups and being one of the only Black girls in it and being a part of different, and academically inclined and, playing instruments and doing ballet and just doing everything. But she's, having to take a shower and your hair don't look the same as the white girls when they get out the shower or they out the swim pool. You know what I'm saying? And they talking crazy and they saying little racial to you. Or you can't go to their house because they don't want the Black girl stealing. Or they having a white get together, a white sleepover, and you not even invited. Or God forbid they want to come to your house and you damn sure ain't letting them come to the hood or come see how y'all living. So this was an experience that I know firsthand from watching a young woman grow up because I knew my kid's mama all through school. And we got together later, but I knew what she was dealing with. And I knew other young women in the same situation where they're in a predominantly white environment. Now, I'm going to let her tell y'all how bad this get from her perspective, but I can already understand it does something to your like self-esteem beyond you will ever understand. It has you questioning and feeling a certain kind of way about your race, and it's a lot to it, man. I'm gonna let y'all hear her out though.
Most formative years, not being the standard of beauty, being ostracized, oftentimes being the only one in your class, having to learn about slavery in a very unsafe environment. It is, I don't think parents understand the psychological cost and warfare on young Black girls to go to these elite prep schools. Forget about having a boyfriend. Forget about going to prom. Forget about learning about race and consciousness in a healthy and safe way. Forget about if you're smart, if you're talented, if you're pretty, even if your parents have money. It is torture. You cannot fully know yourself and also be self-aware and develop a healthy sense of self in a space like that. I refuse. You can argue with me if you want. You can't do it. And I'm saying this for young Black girls specifically because I think young Black boys, though the trauma might also still exist, I think they have very different experiences than young Black girls who go to prep school.
Man, look here, man. I love when I'm right, boy. I love it when I'm right. This conversation I've had multiple times on different platforms and for different reasons. And especially more recently, when we talked about them changing the school system and maybe not, including uh, slavery in the curriculum and teaching it in schools. And a lot of black people think that it's an attempt to erase history. I don't look at it that way. I think it's healthier to not be talking about these things in school, because what she just expressed is something that I understand and always knew, and I observed myself. She said learning about slavery in an unhealthy environment. When you in a school with predominantly white children, and y'all going over slavery in that class, do you think children have the sensitivity to understand the weight of what slavery was? Or are they going to be some childish a-holes calling you little niglet and little slave girl for the rest of the damn school day? And they ain't even 7. They ain't even 10 years old yet. But they know that in their mind now, they just were taught that white people are better than black people, because that's what the message sounds like when you only focus on slavery and none of the greatness of black Americans or Africans even. So that's typically what happens in these schools. Black people history don't start until slavery when it comes to school. Nothing prior, not the greatness. And the closest thing they got to teaching you greatness of black people is niggas trying to get you out of slavery. Is black people trying to get you to sit at the counter with other white people. That's the greatness that's the deepest level of greatness that they would try to show you, is you begging to sit on a bus instead of all the many great things that black people do. And imagine being in an all-white prep school, dealing with people that have what's the word? The word's escaping me. That y'all it shouldn't be as many people as say the damn word. Generational wealth. A lot of those kids that can afford prep schools are kids from affluent families. And not only do they have long money and old money, a lot of that long money and old money comes from a time where it was discrimination in the nation, and slavery even, where white people had a great head start and used free labor to get some of the wealth. Now, mind you, that is not every white person's story. And there's a lot of white people that came to the country long after that. I'm aware of that. But in that textbook, it don't sound like that. In that classroom, it don't seem like that. Even a young kid that 2 generations away from being an immigrant, they damn self, they don't even think that. They think that they family been here long enough. They think that they family was in power, because in America, we're taught that white is power and black is subservient. That's what's being taught in schools. So anytime I had this conversation with people, I said they shouldn't even be talking about this shit at school. Reading, writing, and arithmetic. And when it comes to reading, they should be reading about mental health, goddamn it, not things that traumatize you. You know what I'm saying? They should be reading about how to build a house from scratch, not about goddamn lies being told in history as well. So I don't even think history should be taught in school, personally. I think that should be done individually on your own, and you have access to libraries and the internet, and you can look and find any and everything you want, instead of things being hand selected for you only for them to tell you what they want you to know, and tell you in a way that will further push white supremacy. But this is too deep for y'all. I don't even want to go that deep. But she did talk about, how she felt in school. She didn't touch on everything that I've experienced other people go through. She did mention that, the males, black males in those environments have a different experience than the females, I'm sure. But it got to be a hard one. It got to be hard to be the one person in the class that everybody look to, when it's talk about slave day, now everybody, looking at you crazy. Or you got you got one of those teachers that want to talk about their political views in a class setting, and all of these white conservative families are being, pumped and talked about welfare is black and black people on welfare, and never told that more white people, like, there's a lot of little sneaky little disses that you got to endure when you even in the workforce. I'm grown as hell. I am still experiencing white people getting amongst each other when they're in numbers and throw little jokes out there. Got their little inside little scenes. Even these people supposed to be cool. They supposed to be the one that got the black friends. They supposed to be the ones that listen to hip hop. They supposed to be the ones that have a few black people at their house for parties and this and that. But them old jokes, them old family jokes, that old schooling, that first grade, second grade slave talking class, that shit is not gone. That shit is still very deep in their bones, and that shit will come out. You know what I'm saying? And again, I ain't mad at no white people. Ain't nobody better than me. The only people that are better than me is people that should be better than me because they worked harder than me. Not people that, got luckier than me. I don't think you better than me. I don't think people that, was put in position and didn't earn a position is better than me. So I never felt, inferior. I feel like everything that I don't have is because I didn't try to go get it. Everything that I do have is because I put forth effort and got it. And I wish that was taught in the world. But unfortunately, race is always going to be an issue in this country until we either change the conversation altogether and stop talking about this type of stuff in school, and never send your kids to a place where they are the minority. I don't think that that's wise. And I think I need to point that out before I get off of this video. Without, especially young, while a child is young, they need to be reinforced about their beauty, their standard of beauty that she talked about their ethnicity and their culture. And they need to be built up before you sent them to be amongst other nations. Hell, that's anybody. I need to be well aware of who I am before I go and possibly be swallowed up, possibly conform to a new group of people. Now you got these white young men and women, you got these young black males and females in those type of environments starting to say the shit that these white people saying just to get along. Throwing their own people under the bus just to get along. Yeah, I hate that too. Oh my God, Becky, I hate that shit too. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not what you want. I'm not articulating this very well. Matter of fact, I'm a little overworked right now, but it don't matter. I think this was a good video. She pointed out something that needs to be thought about. So while everybody is striving these days to now make a lot of money and move their family into better areas, consider what you putting them in. One more thing. Sorry, y'all. I keep saying one more thing. I live on the border of predominantly white area, and then I can't even front. It ain't a good black area in my city per se, but I live right in between what you would call the hood and what you would call middle class area. And I shouldn't call it the white area, but Milwaukee is one of the most segregated cities in the United States, and it's on everybody's list as being one of the most segregated cities. So, and I live the Mexican or the Spanish side of town is, so I'm boxed in by the Spanish side, the quote unquote white side, and the black side. Unfortunately, in my area, the black side gets a little dangerous. You know what I'm saying? The white side is just as dangerous if I bring my 8 black children into them neighborhoods. Who do y'all think that the damn HOA or the goddamn neighborhood watch, or just the old rich racist white bitch and like to be in her damn window, who you think gonna be they public enemy number one? My black kids. So they not safe in that area. I would never move my kids to a predominantly white area so they can just be mistreated. I don't care how bad I want to be in a safer environment. That's not safer. If they're being harassed or the police are being called, or they're I saw him with a gun, knowing damn well he had a damn basketball or a baseball bat, but he got a rifle, according to this white bitch in the window. So no, I would not send my kids in that area. But I also know better than to have them in the trenches. I'm right between the trenches and the cracker ass crackers. No, I was playing. And look, that's just the way it is. And then my Latino homies on the other side, they got they sides too, man. They got their sides too. But like I said, man, you got to be conscious of what environments you put your children's minds. Where you put your children. They could be in physical harm in a safer environment. They could be in mental harm in a safer environment. You got to be careful, y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna leave it at that, y'all. We out. Peace.
Some of us have been rocking with AP from his Player for Life days right into his evolution to AP for Life. He's still the big homie, just a little older and a lot wiser. The most genuine dude on YouTube, keeping it real. And so many of you contact AP to tell him how much his advice has meant to you over the years. This channel has gotten so much support and love, from comments to likes to subs to shares to donations. All are very much so appreciated, and for those that would like to donate, you can do so via Cash App, $AP Family Man, or PayPal AP Family Man. All donations are appreciated and go towards continuing to produce content that is meaningful to the AP for Life fam. We thank you for your cash donations in advance. All relevant links to AP, including his book, Dirty Dirty Minds, are found in the description. Continue to enjoy the show.